What is going on, Notre Dame fans? Mike Singer and Tim Hyde live on the Blue and Gold YouTube channel. It's a Wednesday night. Really appreciate you guys tuning in, whether you're watching back on YouTube, if you're live with us, or listening via podcast. Hope you all are doing well. Man, lots to talk about tonight. Spring football talk, some recruiting discussion. Tim Hyde loves talking Notre Dame offensive line, so we're going to dive into it all tonight. Tim, what's new in your world, man? I think last week you were getting snow. How's it this week?
Yeah, we had 20 inches the other day, 26 inches 2 weeks ago. It's all melted now. Everyone, I see someone just posted a picture of the moon in the chat. Yeah, anyone see the, oh my God, the
eclipse thing?
The eclipse right over my head. Yeah, the eclipse is only the 100%er. I'm up here in New Hampshire. It's only about 90 minutes away, maybe 2 hours. So we had 98% where we were at. We went to the top of the mountain, a couple thousand people. It was pretty awesome. So that was a pretty cool experience.
Definitely. Please hit the thumbs up on this video, folks. If you're watching live with us or watching back, of course, subscribe to our Blue and Gold YouTube channel for more content. And if you're listening via podcast and you like the show and you have not left us a review, please do that wherever you listen to your podcasts. Jordan says it's dead season of football. Nothing to talk about. Yeah. If that were the case, we wouldn't have as many people watching these shows as we do, because there is always things to talk about for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I had 12 things on my brain. I had to cut them down to like 2. I was chatting with you at 9 a.m. this morning.
I mean, we had to cut something out of the show just a few minutes ago.
Exactly. So here we go. But no, exciting. We're 9-10 days, whatever the heck it is, right, from the Blue and Gold game. We're here. We're here. Don't forget, we're going to be live. So you will be live after that. That'll be fun. That's been our tradition the last couple of years. So that'll be a fun little thing to break down the Blue and Gold scrimmage and, break down that fourth quarter, right, Mike? See who's hot and heavy in that quarter.
Yeah, we've been doing these shows for a little over 3 years now. So
this will be our 4th straight Blue and Gold game. So that's going to be fun.
Yeah, we did the 2021 Blue Gold game.
Maybe it was 22. Maybe it's the last 3.
Because we brought you on January 2021. That's when we did that little trial video that you passed.
Maybe we did the spring. I don't know. But I know for sure we've done the last 3. But no, it'll be fun, exciting. A lot of good news coming out. Recruiting, which you're hyped about, is like
very excited.
It's wild what's happening. So never a dull moment. So going back to that guy, it's the dead season. No, this is the wild season. And then there's no dead season, Mike. Then you got the spring game. Then every coach hits the road. Then we got 5,000 camps. Then we got the
June officials. July and February are the 2 slower months, but you get a lot of commitments. You get July 4th commitments, February commitments. I think Notre Dame had a couple in February this year. August fall camp, and then A&M.
A&M. We're already here, Mike. So let's get rocking. Let's get to it tonight.
All right. So to start today's show, Tim wanted to talk about a few guys that he's liked this spring. Now, of course, Tim has attended as many spring practices as you guys have, but we get to watch a lot of clips. Blue and Gold takes clips. The various media outlets post all stuff on YouTube. So Tim's got to watch some different stuff, and you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 guys you wanted to talk about, Tim. So I can only give you a minute or so on each guy. But
it was just quick and easy. I mean, there's so much film out there. And then I've talked to Horka, a handful of times and whatnot. Just, I mean, and I don't want to be Captain Obvious, well, so-and-so and all that. It's always the young guys. You always focus on those guys. But man, there's some dudes, Mike, that are just popping out when you watch them. And I'm a football nerd, man. I go slow. Yeah, a little bit. I go slow-mo, because I'm always looking for the lineman first off. And those dudes are always outside. So I was like, okay, I could see so-and-so back there walking around. And so it's fun. It's fun just to see who's who. I know Goolsby and I have texted a handful of times, just like, my God, that guy's like good looking, whatever, all the little coaching things that come out. So it's fun. But I'm going to start number 1. I'll just throw the first guy out is CJ Carr. Look at it. You had it ready. We haven't even prepped this. Man, I'm telling you, I know everyone's got their fan favorites. I know everyone's got their little pecking order and who's their camp. But I'm telling you, man, when he throws the football, I enjoy watching him play. I just do. I actually went back and watched some of his senior film today. He's got some games that were on YouTube. I was just rewatching just to get a little fresh. I like him, Mike. I like the way he throws. I like everything about him. The mannerisms you hear, Coach, Guduli even talking about him is competitive. How competitive he is. He's just into it. And I loved his quote where he the other day, was it yesterday actually, right? I was listening to it. Was that last night or maybe it was the other day? Days just swim. But talking about he thought the best thing for him was that the bowl practice, how he came in there and just instant, knew what to do, got rocking and rolling. And then when spring comes, he's been I know he's been constant fourth. I don't know, Mike, something about him. I know certain people are pushing for other people and whatnot.
No.
I'm going to put a $2 bet on. Do we have a betting site that sponsors it all that we have to promote? But I'm going to be, Mike, I'm going to go on a limb. I'm going to say he's the 2025 Q.
What?
I just don't think he's going to sit around for a couple of years. So
you like him to start next year?
Yeah. If they're not going to the portal, Mike, why not? If they're not going to go to the portal, Freeman and company are going to be around these guys. I do, man. I just think he's going to work his way up. I think he's got a few things about him that are just going to pop. That's just me.
Oh, Tim, this is getting clipped and it's going on social media for sure. Is that okay with you?
Oh, I don't care. But I do. That's going to be my hot take here in the middle of April. So
okay,
I'm going to roll with that.
Steve Angeli. I just had to say that because John said I bet Singer can't go a whole show without saying Angeli. Oh. So I just had to do that for you, John.
Yeah, and it's not, it's all the quarterback. I mean, you watch all these guys throw the ball; they're all nice as could be. They all do amazing things. I just think I think he's going to work his way up. I just think he's the highly ranked guy that they're not going to just let sit back for a couple of years. I just don't.
If CJ Carr is the QB1 for Texas A&M, or not Texas A&M. Who's the opener in 2025? Or is it A&M again?
A&M.
Is it? Okay.
Home opener.
Yeah. If that is the case, oh my gosh, Tim. The content, the excitement, the YouTube thumbnails and headlines and articles, a true sophomore starting. Oh my gosh. That will be a lot of fun. So, all right. I like it. I like it.
Like Rick Meyer, game 1 against Michigan at home against back in 1990. So we could see that type of a game. But I'm sure I wouldn't be surprised if they hype up the A&M home game to make it a night game. So there you go. For all the old guys, we'll relive 1990.
All right. The next guy here, Tim, I was very glad you included him in this list, was a Don Schuler. I have a clip of a Don that I want to play. All right. If I said, hey, this guy right here is Javonte Jean-Baptiste. On first glance, you'd be like, yeah, that's JJB. No, that's your sophomore safety who's listed at 6 foot, 198 pounds. He looks like a freak. He passes the eye test and aces it, perfect score.
He reminds me. I mean, I've texted Goolsby this before. Mike played with this safety. Is Jerome Sapp, who was a heck of a football player for Notre Dame back in those great defenses in the early 2000s. So he looks like. So the way he runs, covers, hits. Man, seriously, he pops. Once again, these are guys that I just noticed who pop on film, athletically, speed, just look like Notre Dame dudes. And when I say dudes, I'm talking playoff guys, ready to rock and roll. Let's go to war with these guys. And yeah, Schuler's just amazing. He's everywhere on film. Even in the background, if he's not even in a play, you see him. So just love watching him, every chance we get. And really excited. I think he's had a hell of a spring. I know the hype with Hurd coming from Northwestern.
Yeah.
He was a corner. So all these reps, not saying Schuler's going to be a starter, but man, you get all these spring practices. Obviously, he had a ton of practices during bowl prep. It's only going to help him. It's only going to help him get ready for next year.
So we just saw that clip of him. This is from fall camp last year. It looks like a totally different person. a
Yeah,
totally different person.
12-year-old kid right there compared to what he looks like now. He looks like a college football player. So there, oh my God, yeah, what a difference.
Yeah.
That right there is a 3-year red shirt. It's looking like compared to what he is now. So congrats to him and the hard work. This is
Yeah.
dude, this is a no-brainer. I
So,
know.
yeah, so Jaden Greathouse, words, but he's, we reported that he's gotten faster, which, it's not the easiest thing to do in an off season. It's just
Yeah.
speed a lot of times is just natural, and he's worked at it. So, yeah, what are your thoughts on Jaden Greathouse?
Extremely. I mean, you just see the explosiveness. It's like so different than last year, night and day compared to last year. I mean, going back to last year when, what did I say? He's great at running the hitches, which he caught 12 balls, remember, in the spring game. Completely different. You just see him catching, exploding. There's been so much coverage of the wide receivers in the spring, and he is everywhere in all the film. His route running. I love the way the way he just catches the ball all the time. It's outward, then brings it in right there and explodes. I'm excited for him. I mean, man, if he didn't have the damn hamstring injuries last year, he would have been like we talked all season, a freshman All-American. He would have been on those. That's a great honor, especially a Notre Dame freshman to get up there. So I don't want to jinx it because last year I said Tobias was going to, be the go-to guy. Don't jinx it, Hyde. So I won't say that, but he's going to have a hell of a season, and that's just going back to rewatching some of the old Denbrock film and the 14 and 15 offenses. When they had really good slots and always hitting them. So I'm expecting that those types of numbers like they had back then.
Love it. Moving along. Tim loves his Cali players, man. Kingston Viliamiwasa. Yeah, looking great, Tim.
I said it for 18 months. If he came to Notre Dame, he would be the most ready to play freshman linebacker since Jalen Smith and Manti Te'o. And the dude looks like and this is why I brought him up. He looks like a college junior. His legs are just powerful. There was a clip the other day where he just knocked the living hell out of Jack Larson backwards, where they're doing that drill. And it's legs, man. The dude's got power. I'm glad, really, really excited of all the news coming out, how sounds like he's just entrenched constantly in the 2 deep and all of the rotation. So the hype on him is real. And obviously we talked all about that, his training, his coaching, coming from, Coach Negro out there, and St. John Bosco is elite upon elite. So keep that pipeline going. I know they're recruiting some more SoCal linebackers. You got Tuli Alamaka. You got Kingston. Just keep it going. So, get his buddy Matt and Faramo coming up next. So there's some dudes. But Kingston is a special, special football player, and we can't say that enough.
Yeah. Another one, Tim. This is interesting because I feel like he's not gotten a ton of buzz and not this flashy name right now. He certainly was when he committed to Notre Dame. I remember that one. I remember I went to his high school, and like a day before or that day, there was a prediction for him to land at Clemson. And I'm like, I thought he was leading Notre Dame. Notre Dame beat out Clemson for him. But anyways, Tim, sophomore, 6'7", 325 pounds.
Is he as tall as advertised?
Yes, he's massive.
Well, speaking of that, once again, I get crazy watching film, and you always see this dude on the background. There's been a lot of every single Minchie clip or even Carr clip, you always see 75 out there. So that's why I've seen him a lot. Good looking dude, man. Whatever he plays, left, right tackle, guards, who knows? I love the fact that he's just getting all the reps. Him and Charles Jagasaw together at left tackle is great, showing his athleticism and just getting that training, because when he signed, he came from an offense that ran 99% inside veer. And he was like running Navy, just hammering people. His film, I remember when he recruited, I said he was the best player to watch on film. The most violent dude that they have signed in the last few years. Just absolutely hammered people. So I just love seeing him on film. He looks good. He doesn't look like a big, tall, sloppy, giant guy. You know what I mean? He really looks like he's filled out. Same with Schuler and so many of these other guys. So kudos to Sullivan, just the way he's working. And I've really been impressed watching him on film.
All right, Cooper Flanigan, another player who we are very both high on, Tim.
Mike, this is the Mike Singer. You mentioned in August that you had a birdie say, watch out for Cooper. Just not he's going to be an All-American and whatnot, but he was going to play, and he played in every single game, whether it's goal line, super packages, all those things. Man, there's been a couple plays on film where he's running around and he literally looks like Mitch Evans. I mean, he's Mitch Evans, Komet, he's all these dudes. He's unbelievable. I mean, seriously, I know Mitch hasn't been around and people are like worried about tight end position. He's a dude. He's going to be he reminds me of Cole Komet and Troy Nicholas. He's Nicholas the way he blocks, Komet the way he runs. Komet was a stud 20 yards and under. So I think Flanigan's going to be that same type of guy, and we're going to hear his name someday on the NFL draft.
I totally agree, and I think you'll hear this guy too. He'll be a draft pick. Christian Gray, sophomore, 6 foot, 188 pounds. I think I talked about it at one of our shows recently. He ran a 4.4 going in his junior year of high school at Ohio State. 2 4.4s actually. Yeah, this guy is pretty special.
And this is a no-brainer. This is one of those anyone that could put on a list, but you got to put him on. He was one of my late ads. I was like, oh, we got to just mention Christian Gray because it goes back to the Benjamin Morrison. How is that shoulder? Is he back for A&M? If he's not back for A&M, Christian Gray is going to get in the fire. Him and Jaden Mickey on the outsides, and not that we need to be worried. Those are two very, very good, highly competitive corners that are going to be hyped for that game. But yeah, his film is freakish, just freakish. Every time you see him out there, you're like, how is he not going to start, even if Benmo comes back? But it's more if Morrison's not there, Gray's going to be throwing the fire, and I don't think they're going to miss a beat. I mean, seriously, he is going to be. There's another NFL guy. There's some guys in these younger classes that are pretty fun to watch.
All right.
What else did I throw out? Anybody else?
This is the last one, Tim.
Okay.
JD Price, only junior, I think, on the list. Yeah, me. I think you and me are pretty much in agreement here. Like, there's a lot more hype, I think, in the fan base about Jeremiah Love, but and he's fantastic. Don't sleep on JD Price.
Well, when I sent you his name today, I was like, he's my preseason pick for team MVP. I don't know why. I just have this crazy feeling, maybe because I rewatched the Sun Bowl again and just watched him run. Going back to I want to give a high five to all the medical people and the coaching staff last year of just letting him get back in the groove after that Achilles. Unbelievable coaching decision from the training staff on up. And he got his feet wet, got in there, had a heck of a season, started doing good things. And then obviously with Estimate gone, he blew up. Everyone's, the great catch Love had a couple nice runs in that bowl game. But Price went over 100 yards. And there's one where they ran duo. He cuts right to left and outraces 3 Oregon State guys to the left side, right there on the sideline. That just sticks in my head. And I know everyone's hyped with receivers, Riley Leonard. Mike, they're going to hammer the football this year. They just are. They're going to be really good, I feel, in the interior. Some young offensive tackles that are, obviously inexperienced. Big offensive tackles in Baker and Jagasaw. I think they're going to slam the rock. And I've been predicting Price is going to be one and done, meaning he's going to have a hell of a junior year, go take that year and go make some money. That's just my prediction. That's what we do in the offseason, right? Make crazy predictions. But he's mine this year. I just can't wait to watch this guy play.
All right. Love some good bold picks from Tim Hyde. You guys want to know what else I love? I love Augie's locker room. It is the place for Notre Dame memorabilia. So if you're in town, you're local, whatever the case may be, if you're in South Bend, go to Augie's locker room, which has moved to a brand new location. So if you've been there in the past, before I think that they moved to the new location in October, November, you're going to need to know it's at 1733 North Ironwood Drive. It's in South Bend, it's right down the street from Notre Dame. So go to Notre Dame and then go over to Augie's locker room. So they have the wide selection of Notre Dame Stadium pieces, jerseys, helmets, autographs, one-of-a-kind Rockney items. You can even find exclusive Joe Montana sign items and famous sculptor Jerry McKenna's replicas of the bronze statues around the stadium. Augie gets new stuff in all the time, and if he doesn't have something you want in store, just stop in or give him a call and he's going to go find it for you. Augie is the Notre Dame memorabilia guy. So visit him at 1733 North Ironwood Drive in South Bend and see the vintage helmet display dating back to 1890. He's got amazing stuff, folks. You're going to want to check it out. Augie'sLockerRoom.com. Give him a call, 574-277-6363. Augie'sLockerRoom.com. All right, Tim. Shortly before the show, logged a prediction for Notre Dame to land 4-star cornerback from Midwest City, Oklahoma, Carl Albert High School, corner Tristan Haynes. Yeah, Tim. Oklahoma still considered the favorite per the On3 recruiting prediction machine. There's been previous predictions for him to land with the Sooners. It's the in-state school. He's visited there 3 times already. He's got trip number 4 locked in. But he's going to Notre Dame this weekend. He's got his official for Notre Dame scheduled for June. And I'm hearing really good things about where the Irish stand for Tristan Haynes. 4-star across the board. The On3 entry ranking has him as the nation's 151 overall prospect and number 18 cornerback. So, Tim, Notre Dame, early in the cycle, everything was about 3 players at corner. It was like Cree Thomas, Dallas Golden, Mark Zachary. Like those are the guys who got the most coverage and fanfare. Thomas is, of course, committed. Zachary, and Golden, I think, are both Irish leans. I wrote about those guys at Blue and Gold today. And then Haynes, I've been saying for a little while, Tim, this is the dark horse. This is the guy to keep an eye on who might surprise. And, yeah, you can find more about it at blueandgold.com. But I did go ahead and pull the trigger on that prediction today, Tim. So I wanted to pop on his tape. Why don't you tell us what you think about this? Yeah.
I mean, first, yeah, I didn't know you logged the prediction until right before we started the show. You told me, and I'm just serious. I mean, this guy's unbelievable. All you have to do is watch 3 plays. And it's funny, I put notes down because you told me earlier today, hey, just rewatch his film. Hey, I watched him months ago, threw it away. I'm like, come on, man. Then Notre Dame ain't getting this guy out of Oklahoma. What the heck? First 3 plays, kickoff return, touchdown. I was like, oh, there's Julius Jones against Nebraska. Second play, pick 6. It looked like Julian Love against Michigan State. The same sideline. And then the third play, there's Will Fuller. That's Will Fuller right there. How many times have you seen Will Fuller catch a little middle screen, take it to the house? The guy's unbelievable, Mike. I mean, seriously, one of the best football players I've seen in this class. And that's not being like, overhyped and none of that. I'm talking just straight football player. I've not watched this guy in months. And if Notre Dame were to get this guy, you could play him wherever he wants. It's like, where do you want to play? Because I'm sorry, man. There's no one who's committed right now that does the things that this guy does. He is look at this play, just jump and grab. Oh, I'm going to take this to the house. And then on top of that, he's out of Oklahoma. Notre Dame has signed like 5 players in the last 30 years out of Oklahoma. None. How's that? It's like crazy. If they go into Oklahoma, Venables, go in the SEC, all those things, man, we throw all that stuff against the wall. This is a steal. Let's just say what it is. This is a flat out steal. And you didn't even mention, Mike, Alabama, Georgia have offered this dude. He is a flat out athletic stud. And if they got him to go with some of the other DBs they're still recruiting, Mike, man, dude, this easily could rival some of the greatest defensive back classes in the history of Notre Dame. And that's just being honest. I mean, Mike, this class could end like freakishly where all these DBs are instantly almost in the 2 deep. They're that good.
Yeah. So Mike Mickens has done a tremendous job in this recruitment. Dre Brown, I know has been all over, the communication with Haynes for several months now. So look, you guys know how I feel about these predictions. I like them to be just that, a prediction. So there's no silent commitment here, at least that I'm aware of. So look, he hasn't even visited campus yet.
Exactly.
That's taking place this weekend. So it's a projection, but I think that Notre Dame gets him. We'll see what happens with Oklahoma. It's the in-state school. Notre Dame, with being such a national recruiting base, it's oftentimes Notre Dame versus in-state U, and that might be the case here. Texas A&M and Miami are a couple programs to watch as well. Like Tim, if I told you, Notre Dame's he's got a top 6. It's those 4 schools and a couple others. It might be Bama, Georgia. I don't remember.
Yep.
If I told you, like, is that the top 6, Tim? Is that right? I literally just. All right, give me a second.
On him. Yeah,
I just wrote it at Blue and Gold today. So Notre Dame, Bama, Georgia, Miami, Oklahoma, and A&M. If I told you like that's the 6, mostly you would say, yeah, Notre Dame's got. They're not.
They're number 6.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Like it's tough to get those recruitment, beat out those Southern teams down there. But this kid loves Notre Dame, and he hasn't even been there yet. I think he goes up there this weekend. I think he loves it, and we'll see where it goes from there. So, again, you got to give credit to Mickens and Brown and the coaching staff in South Bend for putting Notre Dame in the position where they are right now. Every cycle, Tim, there's 2, 3, 4 guys. It's like, how the hell did Notre Dame win that recruitment? I think that might be Tristan Haynes here. Man, DB recruiting is just, Tim, next May 1 will be 5 years of me covering Notre Dame football recruiting. The difference between the Fighting Irish recruiting the secondary from then until now, it's night and day. Kyle Hamilton, of course, an outlier, total unicorn, but it has just changed, and Mike Mickens definitely gets a lot of credit for that.
I mean, are these the same plays? He scored like 22 touchdowns in this film. It constantly looks like it's the same. He's unbelievable. I mean, athletes. Athletes, Mike. My favorite player out of all these guys, I was telling you earlier, is Dallas Golden. So you want to talk about an upset? I've not even wanted to even mention that guy's name because I'm just,
you just did.
I know, but that to me would be the biggest upset out of everybody because now you're going into Florida, Tampa to get a Dallas Golden who could flip a coin and go wherever the hell he wants. The same with this young man. So you literally are getting 2 of the elite SEC football players. This is just call it for what it is.
Yeah.
And steals. They're flat out steals. They just are. And there's times when I hear guys in recruiting, I see so-and-so's offer. I'm like, I don't want to watch that film.
Yeah.
And then, like 6 weeks ago, someone was talking about some of the guys and I rewatched Dallas Golden. I was like, and I went and lit a prayer candle. I did. I was like, please, Lord, can we get him to South Bend? We need guys like this. So there's a handful, but this young man, his skill, he looks like Cam Hart already with his length, his height, the way he breaks on the ball. Just great job by the staff, and I'm sure they're going to have a nice buffet of food and some nice hors d'oeuvres and everything to make them happy from Oklahoma to South Bend. So I think the last one, just real quick, someone can look this up. I want to say the Weiss years. I don't think Kelly signed anybody. I know they had George West in 05 or 06, who was a slot receiver, and Matt Romine, who was a top 50 offensive tackle. Had some injury issues, ended up transferring to Tulsa. I think those are the last ones. Outside, we know the Brooks brothers and Jerry Wisney was a starting guard during the Holtz years. Really good football player, but man, Mike, it's been ages.
Yeah. Hold on, there's a comment here. Jason said, "Is he a crystal ball watch?" Yeah, I logged this prediction and I tweeted it out at let's see what time here.
This is
6:43 p.m. Eastern. So not too this actually might have been him messaging me right there.
No,
no, it wasn't.
I don't know. And it's funny, you asked me a question before the show, and I'm like, I'm not saying anything to you, Mike, because I'm just like, I don't want to wait. The guy, he's an Energizer bunny, man. This would be unbelievable. This is not a red shirt, learn the system type of a guy. Same with Dallas Golden. These are like, no, we're going to get your butt playing. So, get ready, have a great senior year, and get ready to play.
All right. Well, Tim, I have a question for you and the audience. Are you guys a displaced corporate executive? Are you wanting to put your career in your own hands? Are you an experienced entrepreneur wanting to diversify? If you're answering yes to any of these questions, or if you're just a curious soul, you're going to want to give Andy Ludy a call. Andy is a huge college sports fan and is a franchise veteran, having owned multiple franchises and businesses. Using his expertise, Andy helps others find their American dream through a very thorough consultation and evaluation process. So give Andy a call and put your life and career in your own hands. And best of all, his services are 100% free to use. So what do you have to lose? Find your perfect franchise at myperfectfranchise.net. Give Andy a call, 404-973-9901, myperfectfranchise.net. All right. Let's see. Tim, I want to talk a little Notre Dame offensive line, as you typically like to do, Tim. I'll give you the floor. What's on your mind when it comes to the Fighting Irish on the offensive side of the ball in the trenches?
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking about it today. It's like how we keep, we're always talking about wide receivers and quarterbacks, like, ankles and braces. Last week, Mike, you were breaking down the ankle brace. So I was like, we need to talk some football. And Notre Dame is tight ends, who's Cooper Flanigan, I mentioned earlier. I just loved watching him. And O-line, I mean, everything. I feel like this entire spring, everyone's talking about everything other than the big boys up front that helps Notre Dame win. Notre Dame's never good unless the O-line's hammering people. So I've been one of those conservative guys. People just think sometimes Notre Dame's just going to keep moving along, but man, they're going to lose 2 NFL picks, right? Blake Fisher's being, all these mocks in the top 100. So he's looking like going to be a 3rd rounder.
Yeah.
And obviously Joe Alt's going to be in that top 10.
Who?
Yeah.
What's his name?
Joe Alt.
Yeah. Is he any good? Yeah.
He's not bad. There's some great film out there. People got to go on YouTube and find a few things. Mike Martz, real quick. Mike Martz kind of gives them little negative things. I don't know if you've heard about that. The old Rams coach was breaking down his game. He didn't think he was a top 20 pick. So that was interesting to see the other side of coming from it.
We really need someone to do like a Tim Hyde bingo. One of them being, you guys can go out there and watch film on YouTube. Like, there's got to be Tim Hyde-isms that would be great for bingo. So if anyone out there in the chat, there's another one that you always say. Anyone out there in the YouTube comments,
film, man. There is nothing better than film.
All right, and Tim mentions doing the dishes. There's another bingo line.
Dishes and film are my it's perfect, Mike, perfect. But
all right, sorry, go ahead.
Going back to the O-line, and obviously the video, the guys did just 13 more. Yeah, I don't know why I always say 13. By the way,
no, Tim, you say the most random. You say numbers and. Sometimes you'll say 10,000 when it's like you will just throw out the most random numbers, and I'm here for it. But I'm sorry,
it's all good. But I don't know why I always say 13. But anyway, maybe I just a little reverse psychology on you, Mike. That's what I'm doing. But with Tyler and Jack, their video yesterday breaking down the O-line, and really, and I posted on the message board talking to some of the guys is. Bam, we're finally going to see the competition I think we've all kind of waited for, and that's left guard. Coogan versus Rocco Spindler, the battle of the seniors. And obviously Coogan's the only one that started every game. That's the only one because, Alton Fisher didn't play. So he's the only 13-game starter. Rocco got the 10 in and then got injured. But this is going to be fun because I feel Billy Schrauff, his talent level – which, by the way, when you see him on film, man, that dude has done nothing but shoulder lifting. He is huge up front. So keep doing the press there, Billy Schrauff. So Billy, I think, is going to be solid. Me personally, I think the tackles, I know you could talk about a Wagner and whatnot. They're going to go with the experience. They just are. Every time the media has been there, as Tyler and Jack will say, he's been the right tackle every single snap, with the one, same with Charles at left tackle. It's going to come down to the left guard. It's going to be a battle royale, which is good to think because you always want depth.
Love a good battle royale, by the way. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, and because it sounds like they got 7. You got to think, you start thinking depth. 7 locked in. You got your 5, and then you're going to go Spindler, Emil Wagner. I think another thing with Emil, another thing I talk about all the time is year 3, right? Year 3, where are you at in year 3? Emil's there, but he's got a red shirt, and he's a guy that came in at 255, 260. I think he's going to play some this year. I think he's going to get some reps, some experience, and he's going to be a 2-year guy, a senior and a 5th-year guy down the road. And then another little side thing, I kind of, just one of those little underbellies when you read what's happening and listen to Tyler is Sam Pendleton, right? Sam Pendleton comes in as a right tackle. Boom. Now all of a sudden he's kind of entrenched as the number 2 center. Every time that he's been out there, he's been the number 2. So I think that's pretty interesting. So is he your 8th lineman? You go the 5, Spindler, Pendleton, Wagner. That's 8 good-looking linemen. So we'll see how that goes from there.
All right. Tim, we're going to cover one more topic today, and that is Tristan Haynes from Houston. So we talked about the Irish, in their pursuit of a prospect from Oklahoma. Well, how about down in Houston? So this is a player who it's fairly similar to Haynes in that a fairly more recent offer, and the Irish just are able to move quickly on prospects. I talk about this a lot, and I hope that it hits home that you never know with Notre Dame. You just got to get them on campus, or even in the case of Haynes. I think he's trending to Notre Dame. He hasn't even stepped foot on campus. But anyways, Tristan Haynes picked up his offer from the Fighting Irish in December, and didn't really hear much about him for a while. And then you get the news he scheduled his first trip to Notre Dame. That was this past weekend, and I'm hearing it went really well. I'm very close to logging a prediction for him to end up at Notre Dame. I was kind of tied up with the Tristan Haynes stuff this evening, so I haven't been able to do a ton of extra digging on Haynes, but did talk to one source, and it's definitely looking like it's in a good spot here for the Fighting Irish. But because he's a newer name on the board, Tim, I wanted to talk about this young man. So again, 4-star prospect out of Houston, and how about this comp for you, Tim? A little bit of a speedier Rico Flores. What do you think about that?
Oh, I like that. He's definitely speedy. There's no, he's speedy. He's got speed on top of speed. Good looking kid. I haven't, studied him a ton. I just, watched him earlier. I remember when he got his offer a few weeks ago, watched him real quick, but fast. You can't have enough fast guys on a football team. You find spots for them all over the place. So, obviously we just always throw out slot, but slot, return, punt, all those things. He's fast, man. He's a playmaker. You get an unbelievable athlete out of Houston, which is never easy. And then you look who's favored to get him. Steve Sarkisian and Texas, who's now going to the SEC. So you're going into Houston and take a guy away that Sark and the Longhorns want. Poor Tyler Horka won't be happy about that, but that's a pretty. He's a Longhorn and people don't know, but that's another steal. But it goes back to wide receiver recruiting, Mike, which is just they must have 87 offers out to kids. It seems like there's a guy getting offered every 3 days. So are they taking 5, 6? It's like DB we were talking earlier. I mean, they're just we're not going to take skill guys, and let's figure it out.
It's been a few years since we've seen Notre Dame go over 25. The 2021 class had 27, and of course, half of them left after 6 months or something. And I'm joking, but but before that, 2020 was like 19 guys. I think 2019 was just a few over 20, and then 2020 is my first recruiting class of blue and gold, but.
I think 17. That's the Lug and Hainsey group. I think they only had 17.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh no. They're gonna. Mike, come on. They're gonna be 25 plus. They're just gonna load up. And we'll figure out the numbers down the road. But these guys aren't even come until a year from now. So it all gets filtered out down the road. But that's a hell of a route. That's another thing. His out routes he's run. I love the way he competes for the ball. He really jumps up, does a good job. So, man, they got some speed. Mike. I mean, I had no idea we were going to be talking about two of the most, electric, guys that they've offered and could possibly be coming to South Bend here soon.
Yeah. Special teams, special plays, special players. And I think Tinook Hines is a special player who can play some special teams. So yeah, Tim.
I love it.
Yeah, that's 40 minutes, Tim. We are usually over an hour at this point, but we hit our topics. So I guess we'll go a few more minutes. I'm just scrolling the YouTube chat. Greg says, how many scholarships is Notre Dame over the limit right now? Last I checked, it was 5. It might be 4. Yeah, I think it's 4. I think they're at 89, if I recall. But the thing, like, I wanted to pop this up because, like, does Notre Dame, do they go get any other players from the transfer portal in this spring window? And it really just depends on who leaves. That's everything. So, what positions to keep an eye on, all that kind of stuff. Who leaves? Like that's really what it boils down to. If you have like a key tight end leave or something, look for them to go after a tight end or something like that. So a long way to say, if they lose 6 guys in this spring window, you can expect them to potentially go to 1 or 2 guys. So we'll see.
Yeah, it's what was I going to say? Oh, I was going to say the portal opens Monday, right? I think I saw
15th. Yeah, it's next Monday.
Yeah, Monday. So, I mean that's funny. You got all these preseason top 20s right now. They're all meaningless because who the heck knows who's leaving? So we'll know more in the next 20 days on that thing. Any others?
Yeah. Jordan Roberts says, "Can you guys touch on Bryce Young? Looks like a freak."
Yeah, I did not put him down because I didn't want to be Captain Obvious with some of the dudes. I mean, seriously, there's some guys that are just like freakazoids.
Yeah, and I think we talked about him last week. I just want to throw in there before I forget. 23 class or 2024 class, Tim? What do you think is a better class?
Man, 23, right? I mean, 23 may have more.
Do you remember early in the 24 cycle, we had the debate on which the better class was? Maybe not early. It was maybe 60, 70% of the way. You said 24 over 23.
Did I really back then? Man,
you did. Oh, I remember it like it's back of my hand. I remember telling you, I was like, 23 class.
I'll go back and double check, and we could have that little. We could break that down since so many of these guys are hitting the 2 deep and whatnot. So
might be a year away from like really having a better feeling because it's it's very very. But just talking about like on paper.
You know what? I mean, I probably definitely went with Kingston. I'm a big, I think Kingston's better than the 23 backers. Obviously, I think Gerby's a special. I think Gerby Lambert's the best little lineman they've signed since Quentin Nelson. And then obviously you got if my quarterback picks right, it's got to be 24 because you got CJ Carr. But real quick on Young, I didn't put him in my little, my little early hype guys that I've seen just because every time you see him, he's like, he's already looking like he's 23 years old. He's all the reviews, I know Tyler's talked about it. He's going to play. That's the good thing. Speaking of freshmen playing, I mean, is one of my favorites of all time is Anthony Weaver, who was a true starter against Michigan back in 1998. And every time I see him, he reminds me, I mean, Anthony was at 6'7", but he reminds me of Anthony Weaver, who was just the dude who just came in, played hard-nosed football, went after it. And when you watch Bryce Young, he's going to be a stud. So he's going to be exciting to watch some 6'7", long, athletic guy get after it. So I hope one thing they didn't really do the last couple of years is when they've gone nickel or dime, they've kind of kept some of the same front guys in, so to speak. I hope there's a legitimate speed rush group. young Boubacar as your, wide nines crashing. You know what I mean? I hope they do something like that, because there's some athletes. Some of these linebackers are freaks as well. Bring them in, crash. You had Snead, Traore, and Young, 3 guys all coming off.
Yeah,
it's like good luck. So, and I'm sure Al Golden's playing around like that, because they do have some special teams this year.
Yeah, special teams, special players. Yeah. JP says Tim Hyde bingo has to include he's a dude, and I think also needs to include him mentioning Tyler Horka, because Tim does that a few times the show. I'm not joking.
Shout out to Tyler.
I need you guys to DM me on Twitter at Mike T. Singer. Just send me your Tim Hyde-isms. And I am not joking, Tim. I'm going to make a bingo sheet, and I'm going to play bingo next week when we do our show.
Oh, SEC Speed's going to be on there. Yeah. Dude, that's a Cali thing. That's a Cali. If he's a dude, he's a dude. SEC Speed's got to be in the middle at all times.
All right. I am not joking. Please, even if there's things that I've said, I'm going to do this show. And then I'm going to start editing it and getting all my stuff behind the scenes done with it. And then I'm signing off for the night. And I'm going to forget that we even had this conversation. So you guys have to message me on Twitter. And Goolsby, I promise you.
Got to have just a spot that just says Goolsby, because he and I text so much.
No. Message. You got to mention your text with Goolsby. That is the bingo square. If you just mention Mike, if you mention me and Goolsby have been chatting.
Oh.
But no, see, a couple guys saying chit chat here. I feel like chit chat's died out a little bit. But
more just talk some ball. But hey, anyway, it's exciting, man. It's exciting. You get that lull. Now we got the spring game here. I'm fired up. I'm just fired up. Like I said last week, it's A&M. I'm an old school Notre Dame guy, man. I love game ones. Come out and just go right at it right from the get-go. So this A&M one's great. FSU in 2021 was awesome. Goolsby played in Nebraska in 2001, which is just wild. Those instant game ones just hit you right in the mouth. So there's a lot of some good memories, Goolsby. You guys are killing me. You seriously are going to make a bingo card. So this is awesome.
100%.
Hey, year 3 is a biggie. That's a loose emoji thing. I can't tell you how many articles where Lou would always talk about year 3. It's really awesome for the players. Year 3 for those players. You hit your stride, by year 3.
I just forgot what my email is. Okay, what is my email? Mike.singer@on3.com. So email me, DM me on Twitter, because I will forget about this, but I need you guys. I need you guys for your help. All right. ENC says, good show, brother. Ian, appreciate you guys. We're going to sign off for today's show. Big recruiting show on Friday. Very pumped about the recruiting show Friday. Steve Wiltfong.
Oh, nice.
Is popping on the show. On 3 VP of recruiting and transfer portal. Super pumped to have Steve on the show, talk some Notre Dame recruiting. Steve is sharp as they come and very dialed into Notre Dame recruiting for a national guy. Like Chad Simmons I've been writing more Chad Simmons like content from like what he's been putting out regarding Notre Dame. So we have Chad Simmons and Steve Wiltfong. It's tremendous. It's like having 2 extra guys at Blue and Gold to cover recruiting along with myself and Kyle Kelly. So it is it's awesome. So again, Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern time. If you're at work and you're not able to watch the show and you're actually doing your job, I understand. Watch the replay, listen to the podcast. Definitely watch the replay. You get to watch the highlights and stuff that we put up on the screen. But we're going to talk some recruiting with Steve Wiltfong. You're not going to want to miss that.
Will you talk 2026 quarterbacks?
Oh, of course.
Okay, here we go. Because we did not tonight. I feel like it's died down in the last week. So
it is
simmering.
Quiet.
Yeah.
It's quiet. Because, when both kids visit, you're like, are they going to commit?
I know.
Time has gone on since it's been a week since Hart's visit. And so.
Yeah, all those guys. So exciting.
All right, folks, please hit that thumbs up on this video if you've not done so yet. And as always, we will catch you next time.